everyone, and welcome to the CineMilled Garage. We're here today talking to you about our Fixed Houdini set. Now, the Fixed Houdini set is now available in female only or male only side. So normally on our website, you can buy them together as a pair, sort of like a cheeseburger setup. And once again, the thing that makes them sort of cool is that there's absolutely no play in between the halves, because once you loosen the center bolt, stainless steel 18/8, it slides apart and reveals 4 stainless steel locating pins. And so this is how we end up with a male side and a female side. So obviously straightforward, one slides into the other. You can set them into different 45-degree angles, 180-degree angles, and so on and so forth. But today we're going to talk about, because we sell these to you also as singles, so either just the male side or just the female side. So starting off with the female side, because the female side has lots of uses. So if you look here at our female Houdini clamp, once again, all these clamps we're talking about will be available in 1.25" and 1.5". That would be 1/66 inches OD and 1.9 inches OD. So to avoid confusion out there. So basically, here we go. This is our female Houdini clamp. Once again, we have our Allen access hole right at the top, so you can undo and access the interior Allen without having to open the clamp. This also is threaded 3/8/16, so you can use a grub screw on it to bite into the speed rail if you so desire, if you want that extra level of security. And then on the bottom half of the female Houdini clamp, we actually put a 3/8/16 rigging point on one side and a 1/4-20 rigging points on the other side. And so this can be used for lots of uses. I mean, you can take a eye bolt and thread that into the side of the clamp. And so, say you have this on a pipe and maybe you needed a point to sort of rig a ratchet strap to put tension on the speed rail maybe. This gives you a way to put it on the side. And then, of course, like I said, if you had, for example, we have baby pins now, and if it happened to be a 1/4-20, you could also rig it on the side if you wanted to. It's just an extra mounting point. But the main feature set is, of course, the bottom surface of the female Houdini clamp. And so, of course, we have the main center thread that's 3/8/16. That's how, there's all these holes that go around in a circle. Those are the locating holes for the male stainless steel pins that slide in there. And the center 3/8 is how it secures together with the stainless bolt. So, but once we overlook that, of course, their centermost piece is 3/8/16. So once again, if you had like an eye bolt or any sort of rigging thing that you needed to mount to the center, right? And then maybe you built a rig that's going to go up on a rope or something, it gives you a way to put a fixed point onto this, or if you're tying off to a ratchet strap or something like that, and before I was doing it on the side, now you can do it at the top and on the center. So that's one thing you can do. If you have a speed rail rigging structure, and you want to triangulate it to maybe a smaller suction cup mount, you can take 5/8 or 3/8 rigging rod, actually, that's threaded, and you can actually thread that rigging rod straight in, and you can use a lock nut right there to keep it from moving wherever you want. And then essentially this allows you a way to go from speed rail down to 3/8 rigging rod, and you got the mini grip heads here that then you can rig out any sort of additional support structures. Maybe it's a BTS camera, witness camera, something like that. So very cool feature. it gives you a way to transition from Speedrail down to smaller sizes of tubes. So that's essentially one more use. Now, the other main use for this setup is we have here threaded 3/8/16 and a 1/4 20 a 1/4 20 set. Both of these are set 2 inches apart from each other. So that's based on our sort of industry standard, grip standard, 1 inch on center based hole spacing. So what that means is you can take, for example, our Ronin-2 universal mount. It could be our Ronin-M universal mount that we make. It could be the Movi universal mount that we make. Any one of the universal mounts we make will line up with this clamp. So you can line it up right there. We have some 3/8, some 1/4 20 hardware that'll line up 2 inches apart. So what this will allow you to do is maybe you're doing an overhead shot above a bed and you want to put your Ronin-2 above the bed, or there's a million reasons why you might want to do the Ronin-2 or any one of your gimbals that we have a universal mount for mounted off of a piece of Speedrail. So this allows you to take your CineMilled universal mount and mount it to the Speedrail clamp, which then allows you to essentially mount your gimbal to a piece of Speedrail. And that has a million and one uses, really. So once again, all of our universal mounts will bolt up to this. And so that's one use. You can even take our Mitchell threaded collar and castle nut. And since that uses the 2 inch on center spacing also, you can bolt that directly to this piece like so. And you can put that on a Mitchell base and run a horizontal Speedrail tube off of a Mitchell base. That also then has a number of different uses. You could take another female Houdini clamp, put that on the end, and then hang your Ronin off of it and go over a bed, for example, with the dolly move off the side of the bed. So this actually has a number of different uses for your gimbal kit. I think it's incredibly useful and versatile. So that pretty much covers the female Houdini. You could also, actually, before we move on to the male one, you can take, so here, for example, is our 4.5 or our 6 inch suction cup. And you could mount this directly to the cheese plate. Now, the problem would be is that you're probably going to use one bolt and it may rotate. It is possible that you can line up 2 other bolts and come from the other side. Absolutely, you can do that. We did give you one more option with the male Houdini. So let's move on to the male Houdini. So here we go. This is the male side of the Houdini. You see right now we actually have a grub screw in that hole. The male side is pretty straightforward. We got the 4 locating pins. The main use for this, I think, is probably the easiest and quickest, rather than dealing with nuts and bolts, is on our sort of newer generation of these suction cup clamps, kits, we will be putting locating pin holes for the male Houdini. So what that will allow you to do is slide the male Houdini right into our suction cup cheese plate mounts. And then that gives you a way to mount horizontal Speedrail off of the suction cup. And that will be very useful. That's really, there's other uses for this. Of course, you can buy these separately and use them on our CineMilled Hitch Mount. So the CineMilled 2 inch, and we're also coming out with a 1.25 inch receiver hitch mount. Will come with 2 of these male Houdini Speedrail clamps. There is various locations for Speedrail on our hitch mount, and so including right on the front. So if you have a need to use more than 2, or maybe you lost your mount, you can buy an extra and run another piece of Speedrail off of your CineMilled hitch mount. So that's yet another use. And actually that brings up sort of a very big reason why we're selling these separately is you may have bought the set from our website and somehow damaged or lost half of it. And so, or someone walked away with it. And so now you can just buy one side and you will then once again have a kit pair. Here's another sort of take on using the female Houdini. I mounted a ball head, an adjustable ball head that I can hang a camera off of it and directly to the female mount, and then I can mount that on the Speedrail. So there's really, as you can see here, the eye bolts, the smaller rigging rods, there's a lot you can do with either the male and especially the female. There's a lot of uses. We put rigging mounting points all over the thing, and I can assure you it's going to continue to evolve as all of our products do. As we get feedback from you or we come up with new ideas ourselves, we will add those to what it can do. So there you have it. You can buy it as a set, as a pair, or you can now buy the male or just the female side. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. You can also, if you have a specific question about the CineMilled products, you can put those, go in and join our CineMilled Facebook users group. If you have a more specific question about rigging, or you bought some of our products and now you're starting to rig out your car or your gimbal in a certain situation and you want maybe some ideas you want to see, or you just want to share with somebody, we have a very cool Facebook group that's the vehicle rigging and cinema camera car group, and it's very active, growing every day, and it's a great resource for everybody out there. And so I encourage you to join it and share some of your builds and or ask your questions. So, all right, guys, it's just one more way we're sort of separating the pieces so you can mix and match and be as modular as you want to be with our products as they sort of interface with a lot of other ones. Yeah, all right, guys, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you on set.